Alright, Big Gumble here. And today's game is a lot like going to eat at a Thai restaurant. You ever eat Thai? You go to a Thai restaurant where they don't understand how to use cayenne pepper. They just sprinkle it all over that curry. And you start eating it, and your face turns red, and you're like, ugh! This is awful. But then, you keep eating it. Your tongue goes numb, your eyes tear up, and you start thinking, oh man, I want some more curry. Well, today's dish is a survival RPG MMO, or something like that. It's called Fragmented, and it was scavenged from the still smoking carcass of the repopulation, a sci-fi MMORPG that was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Star Wars. Unfortunately, the repopulation had to take a hiatus after Hero Engine ran into some legal shenanigans. So now the game's being ported over to Unreal Engine 4. In the meantime, developer Above and Beyond Technologies decided to pump out Fragmented as fast as an unwanted teen pregnancy to give fans something to do in the interim. That's pretty nice of them. So let's start with character creation, the first thing you'll do when you first log into a server. I gotta be honest, the models, they look like blow-up sex dolls from Amazon's refurbished section. They're lifeless figurines. And when I stare into their soulless eyes, and they stare right back into mine, all I can do is hear, help me. If you play the repopulation, then they'll look familiar. The asset hasn't changed much, models look pretty much the same. I was actually kind of disappointed by that. And customization is very, very narrow for now. There's not enough sliders. Of course, in a game like this, you won't be showing your zombie off for too long before covering it up in some pig skin and whatever else you can find as you're scavenging. But still, hopefully in the future we'll see some more advanced customization options, maybe some character model upgrades. From there, you'll enter the server for the first time and crash your test dummy on a planet brimming with xenoforms. And if you've played any other survival game, well, you're already ahead of the curve, you know exactly what to do. You're gonna harvest and slaughter. Manifest Destiny, bitches, it still exists in space. So you better uppercut every tree, rip out every shrub, and stab every single alien protecting its young until you have enough wood, berries, and hide to survive for more than a half hour. You can then take all those crude ingredients you've got yours lined in your pockets, and you'll craft armor, health packs, building materials, weapons, on and on and on. You're a hybrid between Jesus and the Full Metal Alchemist, sticking shit together with duct tape to remake civilization. Oh, where have I seen this before? Oh, everywhere. It's the pizza formula of survival games. Every studio has their own spin on the way they fold the crust or the sauce they use. Maybe they go to Trader Joe's, but in the end, it's still pizza. The recipe still calls for dough, cheese, tomato, and the destruction of foreign ecosystems. But Fragmented does at least have another ingredient to prevent it from being part of the Papa John's franchise. It's got RPG leveling. For every interaction, every tree you punch in the mouth, for every xenoform dog that's just minding its own business you kick, you're gaining some experience. And that experience translates into levels, kind of like Ark. You can then allocate skill points between 8 different spheres of knowledge, running the gamut from construction to textile and everything in between. Along with unlocking new recipes and things to craft with each level, you can also get some bonus stats. So if I put a point into melee, I unlock extra melee damage, so that way then I can slaughter the wildlife that much faster. It's a neat form of progression. It's something to look forward to, and it makes it seem like everything you do in the game matters. It has an impact. Because every time you level, you're unlocking new weapons to build, new tools, you're unlocking new blueprints so you can build better structures. And that way, after you've cleared the entire rainforest and the last insect is decorating your boots, you have something to do. And because you're getting experience for everything that you do, you level fairly fast. You level so fast, I had no idea that I had leveled. I had to turn to chat and ask how to craft certain tools because they weren't in my crafting log. And it's unfortunate that the game doesn't give you a better introduction to this progression system. Now, I did play during an early access build of the game, so that may have changed by the time you've watched this. But because it's not introduced properly, Fragmented suffers the same fate as other survival games. It's a daunting start, one that can prove very frustrating for players who thrive on instant gratification, because it's not obvious. And it's funny, I thought it was really funny, that my character in this future world implicitly knows how to craft these complex stone tools, but they can't figure out that they need to slap steak and a fire together to cook it. No idea. Didn't even know how to make a campfire. That's actually why I asked in chat how to craft, because couldn't make a campfire. Seems like something you would know, but oh well. And then there's combat. So combat in Fragmented is it's boring. That's pretty much the best way to capture it. It's boring, and that's okay in one sense because Fragmented is more about gathering and crafting than it is about some type of dynamic combat system like Chivalry. It's a matter of lining up your weapon with the skull of the enemy, and one of you walks away. If you have a gun, it's a matter of point and click, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to harvest that life form for meat or their hide. Now, of course, in PvP, it's a bit different, but as far as PvE, you're really just bashing in brains so that you have something else to harvest, because that is what Fragment is all about. It could be called harvesting the future sci-fi game. There's nothing special about combat as of now. That could change. I don't think it's gonna, but, you know, it could change. Now, let me be clear real quick here. Fragmented isn't a bad game. It's no League of Angels 2. It's a fairly good game for what it is. It's just generic. It's impressive that Above and Beyond was able to push this out so quickly after the unfortunate incident with Hero Engine. And what they did was, rather than try to innovate, they played it safe. They regurgitated the survival formula, kill everything, craft, progress, endgame, PvP. It's the same thing, you know? And that's okay, but I don't see why even a diehard survival nut is going to come and play Fragmented over the thousands of other survival games that are trying to branch out into their own little directions, like Rust or 7 Days to Die. There's just nothing here to really draw you in unless you're already a fan of the repopulation. So that's Fragmented. Turns out it wasn't the tie at all. That was something else. Turns out Fragmented is copy pasta, and it's served with a sauce from ShopRite. But you know what? Hey, someone's gonna eat it.